The people you keep around you are basically who you're going to be in the future. I don't know if I've already spoken about this before, but you kind of need to know that it's very likely that if you are conversing with someone a lot and you have um, you just spend a lot of time with them and you're probably close to them, you definitely are like them. So if you're hanging around with a group of thugs and you're too scared to leave, then after a couple of months you're just going to be a thug yourself. And that's just the mysterious law of how you just become more like those you spend time with. It's like you start gaining the colors of your tribe because you keep affiliating yourself with them, and that can be a good thing because if you know who the right people are to spend your time with and what people have your best interests in mind and who act in that way, then that's a good thing because you know that you need to um, actually put effort in and you both influence each other in a good way, and it's for mutual benefits. But this can also go sideways as well because if you're just clinging on to a friend and the friend is not doing good stuff whatsoever, then you're not going to end up bringing them up as quickly as you're going to end up falling to their level. That's human nature in general. We pick the road of least resistance automatically, and uh, we just automatically go down instead of going up, which is why it's very dangerous to align yourself with people who are conducting activities that aren't necessary towards your overarching objectives. So this can come in many forms. The influence that they have on you, it can come in the clothes you wear, the way you say things, and even the values that you have. So if you were raised in a household where people were always criticizing things, then you are going to 100%, well, 99 point something percent, become exactly like that. You're going to become someone who complains about things, who whines and moans all the time. You're going to be someone who just only sees the bad in every situation, and you're not even going to realize it. You're not going to realize your relative standing to the rest of the population because to you, the rest of the population as being contained in your little household. And another prerequisite to this is usually the unawareness. We're just not conscious of how much we are turning into the other person. We might see that now we've picked up a few phrases that we would have never have used before. We might pick up that stuff, but it goes deeper than that. Like I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that your brain probably starts building these neural connections to match that of the person that you're spending time with. And this can go both ways as well. You're probably also influencing the other person, but odds are if the other person is a lower standing relative to you, um, in terms of what you're aiming for. So if you're aiming for fitness and you hang around with your group of cop buddies who just eat donuts all day, stereotype I know, you're not likely to keep going. Whereas if you align yourself with a few friends in the gym, then you're going to be pushed and you're not even going to be the best person in your group. But as long as you have momentum in the good trajectory, then the upper trajectory, then you're not going to bring people down because it's all about direction and about where you're going. It's not about where you are. And that's why you start to go where the people are going and not where they are, if you know what I mean. And the thing is, most of the time you don't need to be that specific because most people just go nowhere. They just stay where they are, and that that's kind of obvious when you consider that most people aren't willing to exert enough energy to actually bring themselves up, but they're willing to stay at the same place, not voluntarily, of course, but they're willing to output the actions that allow them to stay at the same place, and therefore they're just staying in this limbo trajectory. They're not going anywhere, and since they're getting older, it's actually slightly going down anyway. So they're not really. It's not really a good situation to be in either. Really, you want to align yourself with people who are not settling for mediocre, I can't believe I'm saying that, not settling for mediocre lifestyle choices, and pushing themselves and allowing yourself to push you. And you need to be able to take criticism as well. A couple of months ago, I was not able to take criticism. I was emotionally neurotic, as I said before, and that was before I read the Shin Paradox, and then I made this one choice or two choices, like journaling every night and then exercising and boxing my chimp, and now I'm the most emotionally stable person I know. I'd say I'm nearly impossible to make angry. I don't think I feel genuine anger more than once a month. I just don't feel much at all. I feel slight irritation at times, but it's just on a completely different level. Now, if I'd stayed around with the people in their presence all the time who kept giving out about stuff, I would have just given up and I would have just been pushed away from controlling my own emotional character. You need to be able to control your mind, and you need to be able to control your ability to choose the people you spend time with. Unfortunately, I know some people here in the future will probably be watching this from the point of view of a student in school, and in that case, you can't really choose who you hang around with because you don't have much choice. I mean, there's a couple guys or girls in your year who probably kind of suit you, but then they don't suit you that much. So you have to spend time with them anyway, just because everyone else is like an astronomical unit away from where you are. So you then kind of settle with that, and that's okay. But do, if you can, limit your time to school time. Of course, that's pretty much what it's limited to anyway. I mean, I didn't really talk to anyone in school. Sometimes I did, at times, but I was mainly a listener. I wasn't much of a talker, and that's another thing. It doesn't just matter what kind of person you choose. It also matters how you start making the first impression. Because if you give off the impression of someone who's just not willing to talk or value themselves that much, then you're going to start attracting people who want to take advantage of that and want to narcissistically like stroke their own tendencies, and it benefits them in the moment, and you end up just becoming their listening bench. And I'm not saying that happened to me. I'm just saying that could happen. You're gonna have these behaviors which attract who you've already been hanging around with. Again, if you keep hanging around with that. So I just say, go into solitude for a while. I mean, I'm kind of in solitude now because I don't really talk to anyone outside my family, and the people I do not want to become like, I just spend as little time with them as possible, and it works a wonder. I just don't become like them, and that's my goal. Just don't become like them. Anyway, yeah, make sure that you hang around only with people you want, who are going in the direction you want to go, and they're gonna push you there.